I'm Ken Myers. I'm from Nebraska. I've been teaching for 39 years. I've been involved with the people from the very beginning. I finally got back to the national finals. One of the questions coming from a conservative state: what do you do if you have a student or a group that takes a very, very conservative point, and conservative is relatively a dirty word to a certain degree? What happens if they take an idea that is totally against your idea as a judge?
Let me start answering that question, because I actually had an experience yesterday with a team who took what I perceive to be a very ideological position with respect to the federal government, and there's nothing wrong with it, and I really do try to assess things just without regard to my own personal view of something. Where this team, I thought, went off the rails was that it was okay to take that position, and in fact, there is serious scholarly support for that position. But they were totally unable to support it in any other way but sound bites. And when I said, okay, I'm hearing some issues with the federal government here, what would you do differently in terms of if you were drafting the Constitution or if you were interpreting the Constitution, what would you do differently? And that question seemed to catch them flat-footed. And then one of them said, well, it's the Supreme Court's interpretation of the Commerce Clause. Okay, I said, what cases do you think were wrongly decided? No answer. Have you ever heard of the Lochner case? Eyes glaze over. And that, I was very critical of that team, and I said, I wanted to keep it clean, so I said, opinions are like noses. Everyone has one. There's nothing wrong with having an opinion or answering a question from that point of view, but you've got to be prepared to support it, because in this venue, you don't let your presentation be hijacked by ideology. If you're going to take that position, you've got to be prepared to support it, and I felt that they were not able to do so.
And part of the orientation is that we don't consider the viewpoints and whether we agree with them in our scoring, and we don't. I happen to be someone who worked with Republican senators for 10 years on the Hill. I don't know the ideology of some of the judges. I know the some, but some of them I don't. I like to ask questions that have right or wrong answers if I can, sometimes in those application questions. Yesterday I asked whether Daniel Webster deserved to be in Profiles in Courage for the 1850 Compromise. Every student said he did. I thought they were all wrong. But I didn't hold that against him, because to a degree there's a matter of opinion. He did vote against what his constituents want. And the students that did the best gave me the best answers on that, even though I didn't agree with them. And I told you, I told the school that I thought did the best, I said, I don't agree with your answer, but I thought you gave a good, well-supported response for why you thought he was courageous. And that's what I did. But part of the issue about ideology is, here's the problem with ideology in either direction. There are two. One is it produces a lockstep presentation. Yesterday's question, and mind you, this is very much on my mind, okay, were the debates of 1850s, were these the most important Senate debates? I had groupthink like we hadn't seen since Vietnam. I had every student except one class said it was the most important debates. They didn't tell me what other debates they had considered. They just said these are the most important. Oh yes, the questions are quotes. They're from famous people. They're well thought out. And all the students and all the teachers seem to think that we want you to say, yes, this is right. And so you get students of whatever ideology who say, oh yes, we agree. This is the most important. We're not going to tell you what else we thought about, but these are the most important debates. Then I asked about Daniel Webster, and they say he's courageous. Okay, sometimes they just said that slavery is morally reprehensible, but he's courageous because he compromised. Okay, well think about through that a little bit. It's okay for the students to all agree with each other. It's not okay if they haven't thought about it. The unexamined life is not worth living. The unexamined opinion is not worth me hearing. And that's what I get. I get too many students, and I said this in the feedback yesterday. Nobody cried. I said, no, it's okay to take the position that you've taken. But this is the 12th class now that I've heard where you said this is the most important debate. And you haven't given me evidence that you've considered what the alternatives are. It's okay to stick, don't tell me anything you don't believe, but let me know that you considered what your weaknesses are in the position that you've taken. If some of you can take a different position, fine. And if you can answer the question in such a way that you're bucking conventional wisdom, but you've shown me that you're strong with it. The school that said that it wasn't the most important debate gave me the best answer of why Daniel Webster was courageous. I don't think that's coincidental. Look at, pick it up like a crystal, your answer that you're going to say. Hold it up to the light from different angles. Look at the flaws, try to respond to them. That's how you will be able to beat some of these teams that made it here, because I saw too many teams that didn't do that. And so it's like ideology, it's unexamined, complete agreement. And yesterday, the Soviet Union would have been proud of the diversity of opinion. That compromise is wonderful no matter what. Compromise is just great. It's great if you keep selling out slaves, compromise after compromise. This is a great thing because we didn't have the Civil War. Well, is it really? At what point does compromise become capitulation or appeasement? I can tell you that none of the students thought that. And that's why I'm telling you, there is an opening for you.
Amen, left or right, that's the response. Tell us why you think what you think, and it has to go beyond my religion or my family background. It's explain, explain, explain. Because I don't think any of us really cares. American politics is played at the 50-yard line. And we just have to understand why we believe what we believe. We are not a French ideological political system. And I just wish we could get our students to think about why they believe what they believe, and that's all we care about. Give us the justification, the intellectual rationale that supports that approach. And I think they should be prepared for, give me the best arguments on the other side. Give me the best arguments for what you just said. Now give me the best arguments on the other side. That's reasoned discourse.